move the orange plates very far, but and I missed the last one, actually the fourth and the fifth. That's better. All right, can I get the little 3-inchers under it here at 12 yards? And the answer is yes, I can. All right.
When the original Taurus TX22 came out, my friend John loaned me this one for a review. I liked it. Then when the TX22 competition came out, John loaned me this one. I liked it. When the compact model came out, which is what you see right here, John loaned me this one also. Apparently he likes the Taurus TX22. Well, after shooting it a whole bunch, I liked it too. Our channel is still growing. By the time this airs, we should be at about 17,000 subscribers. You can help us grow by hitting the thumbs up button to show that you like it, commenting on this video, and by sharing this video. That helps the YouTube algorithm understand that it is a popular video, popular channel. It'll help the channel grow some more. Really appreciate the help. Thanks for dropping in while we take a look at the Taurus TX22 comp. Now, we did the unboxing on this not too long ago. I gave you all the specs and the details, and I'll post the link right up here. If you haven't seen that, go ahead and click on that link. It'll take you to that video. You can watch it, then you can, when it closes out, should be able to come right back to this one and watch how it performed on the range. The compact is basically the same lower, except a little shorter. Obviously, it doesn't have the 2-slot pick rail it does on the full size. But basically the same frame, same action, same everything. So one of the concerns was how's the trigger compared to the other models. I did weigh them, again, an average of 5 pulls on each one. I put a snap cap in there so as to not hurt the rimfire action on it. The full size came in at 2 pounds 3.5 ounces. The competition came out at 1 pound 14.7 ounces, and the compact here came out at 2 pounds 7 ounces. So the compact was the heaviest. However, the other guns were well used. I weighed them all at the same time. And the other guns have a lot of rounds to them, a lot of trigger time. This one had virtually none at the time that I first weighed the trigger. So I expect this one to smooth out in the meantime. Decent trigger, by the way. It is completely unloaded. Let's pop the mag out just to make everybody happy. And no mag, nothing in the chamber. So I am going to pull this once on an empty chamber. I don't normally like to do that on rimfire, but Taurus is a good stout gun, and I hadn't had any issues in doing it with others in the past. So this is a different trigger than you see on a lot of guns. It's pivoting initially, and that's kind of the drop safety on it. You can't push it straight back, so it pivots to overcome any drop safety issues. Then it's a sliding trigger, almost like the feel of a 1911, only it's not quite, because it's still pivoting as it goes back. Nice, crisp, clean break, and a very short reset, but again, there's still a lot of slack in it. So it's a nice trigger. It takes just a little bit of getting used to with that pivot and slide, but again, it feels kind of natural. So again, just a quick overview, ambidextrous safeties on it. Taurus does finally make the original one now available without a safety. Every other model has the safety on it, including the full size as a standard feature. The slide is lightened on the top and on the sides. It's also a fully open slide. Now, on the competition, not a big deal, because the optic is mounted to the barrel hood on the competition model. One disadvantage to that, however, is there is a potential for debris, and rimfire ammunition is rather dirty, but for debris coming up on the front of the optic. Not as much I've noticed on this as I have on some other pistols, but I'm sure they just cut that out to make the slide even lighter, whereas the original TX22 had a right side eject. If they had stuck to the same kind of slide design on this, to where the barrel or the slide was covering the barrel on the left and the top, then you'd be less prone to get debris on the optic. But again, in the shooting that I've done with this so far, I haven't had any problem with it. This is available, as I mentioned in the original, with a right-on optic. I put a Swampfox Sentinel on it just because I had one sitting around. Does not co-witness at all, but with a reliable optic, and it's not used for defense. I don't have to have co-witness sights. It's nice, but it's not an absolute necessity. The 13-round magazine for the original will certainly now accommodate the 16-round mag for the competition and the standard model. 13 round is fine. It's more than the 10 you get in a lot of others. Real ergonomic. Feels really good in the hand. It's not super skinny like some of the SIG models. I can still get both hands on it comfortably. Like the feel of the grip on it. The texture is not overly aggressive. It's not going to upset too many people by abrading their hands. Mag release is protected by the frame right here. You can see that the frame protects it so that you don't inadvertently drop it from if coming up from the bottom, putting it in a holster or whatever. Got just a little bit of an indentation above it for the thumb, but I can still get to the mag release without having to change my grip, which I do like. Slide stop lever is not ambidextrous. The mag release should be swappable. Put it on the right side if you want it. Typical Taurus takedown, which we're not going to do here. But speaking of takedown, I had a question about whether or not the slides and frames are interchangeable. And again, as I mentioned, this frame and the internals are basically the same except for the length as the original. So I took the slide off the original, put it on the compact frame, worked just fine. Took the slide off the competition model and slide and barrel together, of course, and put it on the compact frame. It worked just fine. So the uppers are swappable with the lowers, and no issues involved there. So this is a range review, and people are going to want to know how this gun worked. We took it out to the range initially. Now, I took this Swampfox Sentinel off my carry gun because it's an auto adjust. I like manual adjust. After using the auto for a while, I wasn't as happy with it. And put it right on this, bolted it down, and you can see the first 3 shots I fired out of this using Aguila ammunition at 15 yards. Shooting at a 3-inch circle, it was on the right side of the circle, so 1.5 inches off to the right for the first 3 shots. I tweaked it a little bit to the left, and lo and behold, it worked great after that. Initially, I ran 8 more brands of ammunition through it in addition to the Aguila. Federal Premium Ultramatch, Federal Premium Target, an old box of Winchester stuff, some miscellaneous junk I had lying around, some Remington Golden Bullets, CCI Mini Mag, as well as CCI Velocitor, 36 to 40 grain and all of those. And I wanted to see if it would run the 29 grain Federal Punch, and lo and behold, it ran everything. It seemed to like the Federal Premium Target and the Mini Mag, and the Velocitor is the best. Seemed to group the tightest of those, although some of that could also be just how I was handling the gun, but real happy with it. So I took it out to the range outdoors, and I ran the usual 12-yard plates. You don't see the 8-inch plates moving very much on the outdoor range, because again, those are heavier plates made for center fire, so the 22 is not going to move them a lot, but did move them some. Ran those real nice. Right under that, I've got 3-inch plates, and again, shooting those at 12 yards. This gun was right on. Real happy with it. Took it over to 25 yards. It hit everything that I needed, and I'll shut up and we'll watch a little bit of that footage. Woodchuck. Crow between the silhouettes. Head flipper on the black silhouette. Won't move it much. A little bit. Way over there on the left is a white 6-inch. And let's see, there's an 8-inch white with a red center. All right. And then, of course, I had to run it out to 50 yards just for kicks. I know, it's not a 50-yard gun, supposedly, but it worked really well. We started out with the big steel plate on the left. It rings nice. Went to the 16-inch high right and hit that first shot. Went to the 12-inch below that, hit that first shot, no big deal. Went to the 10-inch, the white with the black center, and again, 50 yards right next to the 16-inch there. Hit that. Went to the 8-inch below that, white with the red center, hit that, and then went to a little 6-inch between the 8-inch and the steel rectangle, and hit that first shot every single time. I'm telling you now, I like the gun, and it continues to run reliably. Absolutely no problem with it in any way, shape, or form. So I also took this to Firearms, where I run a steel shooting league every Wednesday night. And the first time I shot it, we had one scenario set up where we had to run the 6-pack of 4-inch plates that are set at 9.5 yards, and then take the final shot at a 6-inch plate that's down at 13 yards as our stop plate. I managed to do that in sub 5 seconds with this with no problems at all. The second time I took it to the league, we had it set up a little different. We had a 10-inch start plate down at 18 yards, and then we ran the 6-pack of 4-inch plates again at 9.5 yards, and finally a 6-inch stop plate at 13 yards, and again ran that 5.08 seconds with just no problems. Now that's not super blazing time. Got a couple of guys on the league with race guns that can do that same thing in well under 5 seconds. but for a little compact, out-of-the-box gun, I'm not at all displeased. Very happy with how this gun performs. All right, this costs $50 more than the basic gun, but the basic gun's not optic ready. You don't need the additional barrel length if you're going to run an optic on it. That's kind of irrelevant. And slight velocity difference between the 3.6-inch barrel on this and the 4.1-inch barrel on the original. Not enough to make any difference for what we're doing. You do get the extra 3 rounds out of the full-size mags, but again, you can certainly use the full-size in this. I would not rush out now and buy a full-size. I may still consider the competition model. It's a heavier gun, and if you're strictly shooting a competition with it, then that may still be a better choice. But for all-around use, the TX22 Compact definitely does its job. I do love it. So thanks for dropping in while we looked at the range review on the Taurus TX22 Compact model.